plant queens, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sab if we've never met before, and this is my channel where I talk about my houseplants, mostly in passive hydroponics. So if you're into that kind of content, don't forget to hit subscribe down below. Today I will be doing my plant haul for the month. This will be a monthly series, but obviously if I don't buy any plants, I might switch it up and just do like the monthly top favorites. That is my cat, who you're all familiar with by now, moving my phone around. Because he wants to be in every video. Okay, anyway, so I'm doing my plant haul, and I thought this would be a short video, but as I was looking around, kind of seeing which plants I bought for the month, I realized it's quite a list. Without further ado, let's just get right into it. So I'm not doing this in any particular order. It's kind of just what I pick up behind me. I put all the plants right here behind me. I am saving some of my favorites for last, so definitely keep watching until the end. So the first one is this Amidrillium Ziplianum. Am I saying that right? Ziplianum. So here she is. You can see those gorgeous finger-like leaves, which is why I was really drawn to it. And I just have it rooting or re-rooting in this bottle of water. It was actually sold to me in a pot, in a clay pot, but as you know, I like to transition all of my plants in leca, and you can actually see it's only been here for a few days, but I hope you can see those white roots. Those are its new water roots, and I kind of want to turn this into an experiment and see how long I can just keep it in water. So just pure hydroponics, and I'll give it nutrients as usual, and I'll update you how that goes if it turns out well. But yeah, that's my Amidrillium Ziplianum. A really gorgeous plant. Next we have a Dieffenbachia, or a Dumpkin, a Dieffenbachia reflector. And you can see why they call it a reflector, just from the sheen of those leaves and that striking white line in the middle. So yeah, I really love this plant, although it is looking kind of sad, because when I got this plant it actually had 3 leaves, but the lowest leaf was yellowing, and I decided to just uproot it immediately and see what was going on. And what I found was that there were no roots, and that's why this is pretty much the root system that it came with in this jar. So that's why I am re-rooting it in water, which really disappointing these days. I find that you get more and more of these plants that come unrooted, which isn't really good practice for the seller, since I am paying for a full plant and not a cutting, you know, but it is what it is, and it still is a gorgeous plant, and I'm sure it'll grow more leaves and grow roots eventually. So I'm still pretty happy with it. Just wish that the seller had taken more precautions, you know, making sure that the plant is rooted and having it stabilized before sending it out to people. Because what if I were a beginner plant parent and I didn't know what I was doing, and it would just yellow and die. And I do have a story about that with one of the plants later on. But here anyway is my Dieffenbachia reflector again. Very gorgeous, striking leaves. Can't wait for it to grow into a full plant. Next is actually a begonia. It's a Begonia Carolina. I think Carolina de Lucerna. I was able to ID it with the help of a friend. I will just insert some b-roll because it is inside my makeshift terrarium, which used to be an apple pie container right now, and I don't want to mess it up because it was hard to balance all the little pots in it. So right now you should be seeing the gorgeous leaves of this begonia. I would like to try and keep this alive because I haven't had a begonia before, and it's just really exciting to see. It's iridescent under the light, and I think the camera doesn't really capture that. So every time I've seen a begonia on a YouTube video, I never really fully appreciated it until I actually had one. So you can see that the back sides are a really striking red, and I really love the white dots and the iridescence on the front of the leaves. I actually separated this into 2 pots just to have a higher success of it, you know, living. Right next to that begonia is actually a Peperomia Novalis. It's a really cute peperomia. It's almost like a succulent, and I just have it under this dome, this makeshift terrarium as well, because a lot of the leaves did fall off when I separated it into two. It's almost like a burrow's tail in how sensitive it is. So I'm just rooting that inside that greenhouse environment as well because it has a higher chance of rooting and turning into its own plant. But other than that, it has really cute leaves and you kind of just want to eat them. They kind of look like jelly beans. Up next, I actually have here to show you. This is my Peperomia Frost. So this is pretty common in the US. And I know you can just walk into pretty much any garden center and pick it up, but here it's harder to get your hands on, or at least harder to find. I was only able to find this online, so I was so happy, and it's so gorgeous. I hope you're seeing how shimmery that is under the light. And it's such a big plant. I got this for a really good price. I wasn't expecting to get something this lush, and I'm just really happy about it. It looks really pretty. I do have it in leca already because if it were in soil, I would kill it. Peperomias do really well in leca. I did feature this in my first video, I think, the 5 easiest plants to transition into leca. So I'll put a card up here for you if you haven't seen that one. But yeah, this is my Peperomia Frost. So gorgeous. Can't wait to separate this and share it with friends because everyone should have this. It's just adorable. So next is actually a jewel orchid. I'm gonna try to pronounce the name. It's a Cystorchis javanica. So here he is. I really love the striking black foliage, but it's also kind of velvety. So it's really tiny right now, and most jewel orchids are like that. I am keeping this in my mini terrarium right over here. That's why it's happy and not dying on me. I haven't tried placing jewel orchids in leca, or at least I haven't tried successfully. I think I tried with a cutting once and it just melted. Although I do know that some people have done that successfully, and I might experiment with this once it has a little more foliage so I can just take a cutting and play around with it. But for now, I'm just gonna appreciate the cute little leaves, and look at the little crinkles on the sides of the leaves. Those are just adorable. I'm sorry if I'm shaking. I'm trying my best to hold it still, but there you go. I'm not gonna try to say the name again. That's the jewel orchid that I got. Next is actually more b-roll of my Scindapsus pictus silvery Ann. This is a really coveted plant at the moment, and I was able to split it with my friend. She got the bottom part of the plant. It was on a pole, and I got the top cuttings, or the top part. So I just separated them into these small cuttings, and they're rooting in leca. And I really love the striking leaves. The foliage is really silver, according to its name, right? But it's really pretty. I mean, compared to the other Scindapsus varieties that I own, like the Exotica, I think I prefer this one just because of how felt-like the leaves are and how beautiful the silver streaks are all over the leaves. Some of them are still curled, which makes me a bit worried, but I'm confident that after a few days or maybe a week, they'll uncurl and be healthy again. But yeah, silvery. The next plant I got is this beautiful Ficus Taniki, Ficus Elastica Taniki. And we all know and love this plant. This plant was one of my first ever house plants, and it was my first expensive purchase, although not really looking back. But when I got this plant, I was so excited because I'd never seen such gorgeous leaves. I mean, it looks like a painter just went crazy on these leaves. And it's just such a beautiful plant, so I was so happy. But then after a few days, the leaves slowly died one after the other. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. I was watching so many YouTube videos trying to figure it out. Until finally I saw a YouTube video of someone suggesting you check the roots and see what's going on. Maybe there's root rot. And lo and behold, when I uprooted that plant, there were no roots. So that was really crappy, especially knowing how ficus are not the easiest to root in soil. And at that point, I didn't know how to propagate yet, and I didn't know how to save it yet. I think it had like 4 leaves left out of the 10. So I just threw the plant away, sadly enough. But I know better now, and I'm so happy to have her back in my life because she really is such a gorgeous plant with beautiful leaves, and I can't wait for it to grow into a tall, beautiful plant. For this next plant, I will show you what it is before telling you what the name of it is. So here it is, and I don't think you would guess that this is actually a Philodendron Skeleton Key. Yeah. So I'm gonna put a photo up here of what a mature skeleton key looks like. It looks like a key, right? And this is the juvenile form that I got. I'm not sure how long it will take for it to look like that, but here we are. I'm just happy to own this because it's really difficult to come by, and the mature ones are really, really expensive. And I'm a patient person. I can wait for it to grow, and I enjoy watching my plants grow from babies anyway. So she's just gonna remain in this tiny jar until it's ready to be uppotted. So this next plant is a Hoya, and I'm really excited about it because I'm just gonna show you. This is a Hoya Triana, and just look at how massive this leaf is compared to my face. I was so shocked when I got this Hoya. I mean, look at that. That is a gorgeous leaf, and it's just huge. They do call these dinner plate Hoyas, and I understand why you really could eat dinner off of these. It's just so massive, and I freaking love it so much. I cannot wait for it to grow more of these gigantic leaves. It only has 3 at the moment. These are actually 3 separate cuttings I have in leca, and I'm happy with this already. I don't even need it to be a full plant. This brings me so much joy every time I see it, just because of how big these leaves are. And it just makes me smile and makes me laugh sometimes. I think it's so silly how big and floppy that is. Look at that. It's massive. It's a Hoya Triana. I have no idea what the flowers look like. I'll look them up after this video. But yeah, my only Hoya this month, I think. Next up is my Oxalis Iron Cross. I will be inserting a B-roll, and it does not look like the best right now. I should have transferred it into Leca after this video, but I got too excited to get it to acclimate to Leca already. But yeah, right now you're looking at what it looks like when you transition Oxalis plants, at least in my experience. They will wilt and they will be lying down. And you're pretty much gonna lose all of these leaves that you're seeing, the gorgeous green and purple. All of those leaves will go because they won't be able to stand up again. So the good thing about Oxalis is that they grow new leaves fairly fast. Right now I am showing you the Oxalis, just the purple shamrock, the normal one, right behind it. And it went through the same process. Its leaves were all droopy for a long while. And now look at it. It's shooting out new leaves every day and flowers pretty much every single day. And that's what's going to happen with this Iron Cross, or at least I hope so. I'm pretty sure it will though. Right now I will be inserting a photo of what it's supposed to look like. And it's a really gorgeous Oxalis. I've been really into Oxalis lately, and I am looking to get my hands on some more of these gorgeous plants. And because they are bulbs, I do keep them in self-watering pots with a wick instead of a reservoir in a jar, just because there's less chances of me putting the bulb into the water, which would cause it to rot. But yeah, really beautiful plant. I will show you an update in a later video of what it looks like when it's recovered, which will probably take around a month or 2. So my next plant is a Pilea or a Pilea, I'm not sure how to say that, but it's a Playa Moon Valley. It's just here rooting or re-rooting with my Syngonium chia pens cutting. But yes, look at these gorgeous corrugated leaves. I've never seen anything like it. I know again this is pretty common in the US and the UK, but here it's really, really rare. And this plant was actually imported. That's why I was able to get my hands on it. And the back sides of these leaves are also stunning because the red veins kind of seep through. Like the ones in the front, you can see from the back as well, which is really fun. And it's just so fun to touch. I do have this in a jar of water with its old roots, just because I want to see water roots before I transition it into leca. But yeah, Playa Moon Valley, also known as the friendship plant, like the Peperomioides, and I am excited to have this growing in my home. The second to the last plant will be more B-roll. This is a plant I got from a swap, and it is, believe it or not, a baby Philodendron Varicosum. So I'm really, really glad to finally have this plant because it's really rare and difficult to get your hands on wherever you are in the world unless you are a grower or a seller. So it doesn't look like much right now, and the person I got it from did admit that it looks like it's struggling a little bit because they might have missed the watering, but the root system looks healthy, and I'm confident it'll bounce back since I do have it in a terrarium setting. I will insert a photo up here of what a mature varicosum looks like. It has been one of my wish list plants for the longest time, so I'm really excited to have it in my home, even though it's a baby. Again, I love watching my plants grow from being small to becoming lush, so I really don't mind it. The last plant, and the most exciting plant, I did get from the same swap. And I never thought I would own this plant. You know, you see those really beautiful, rare plants, and you don't even think of adding them to your wish list because they cost a lot of money. Well, I got this from a swap, which I still can't believe I own this. I'm just gonna show you. So this is my Philodendron Florida Beauty Varigata or variegated. And wow, it's just beautiful. This one leaf here melted a little bit on the side, probably because of the sectoral variegation. But I'm not too worried about it because look at that stem. You can see the white, the green running through the white parts. And it's a little bit fuzzy, which is so fun. And I already chopped this up into 3 parts just so I have, assurance that one of them will make it. And so I have 3 plants of it in the near future. But yeah, it's really gorgeous. This is my favorite plant for this haul. And I'm sure you can understand why. It's just breathtaking. I love the unique shape of the leaves and the fuzzy stem and just everything about this plant. And you will be seeing a lot more of this guy on my channel. So that's it for my plant haul this month. Thanks for sticking around. And I want to know what plant you got this month that excited you. So just leave that in the comment section down below and let's gush over it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!